I am Angelique Eliopulous. I graduated from Chelmsford High School in 1998, and I always loved this school. I love this town. I went away for school for college and law school, which I can get into in a minute, but ultimately came back to Chelmsford to have my practice here with my brother. My brother and I have a law practice here in Chelmsford, and it was important to both of us that we work in the town that we love so much. And I came back to Chelmsford. I built a house here, and I live here with my husband and my daughter. And part of that is because it was important to me that my daughter go to Holy Cross. Holy Cross. That too. We'll get to that in a minute. But that my daughter go to Chelmsford High. Yeah. And I'm so excited. I definitely built my forever house, and hopefully we will be here. And I'm so excited to have her come here someday, hopefully, and kind of experience that with her again. I just love this town. I was so happy to be a part of the program. I was lucky to have many mentors in my schooling, in my life. When you come from a large Greek family like I do, you sometimes have more mentors than you want, or that will tell you what you should do. And one of my greatest mentors, my dad, who since passed, we called him Big Mike, and he had like an ism for everything. We used to call him like the Big Mike isms, and one of his was, preparation makes up for lack of experience. So I did jot down some notes here because I hadn't presented to students, even though I talk all the time, a lot. But so I had some here. I guess just to talk about sort of my path, if I had to make a theme for my little chicken scratch notes here that I made today, I guess it would just be to stay curious, not only in your where you go to school or what you decide to study, but I mean really just in your life. My path kind of took some different turns than I might have expected, and I think that if I wasn't open-minded or willing to kind of think about what that might look like, I may have ended up in a very different place and maybe would have been just as happy in any one of those kind of choose your own adventure scenarios. But I think it is important to not be so stuck in your ways that you're going to limit yourself to some of the opportunities. And that's why I think this program is so great, because you can have the opportunity to not only talk to maybe a mentor of a path that you really see yourself going down, but maybe even explore some other mentors as well in some areas that maybe you're only peripherally thinking about. You never know what kind of doors might open. So I'll just give you a little brief glimpse of my path and how it kind of shifted some different ways. I ended up, when I left Chelmsford High to go to Holy Cross, I ended up going to Holy Cross. I cried for a week. I just didn't want to leave. I loved high school. I loved every minute of it. My friends were amazing. And my brother said, you just wait till you graduate from college, then you can start crying and come back to me. But I loved it. I didn't want to leave. I decided to go to Holy Cross, but that really wasn't my first choice. When I didn't get into my first choice, again, I was like devastated. Oh my God, the world is over. And of course, it was the best thing that ever happened for me. I didn't even know it at the time, but I decided to go to Holy Cross for a number of reasons. It turned out to be a great fit for me. The size was perfect. I think some things, if kind of seniors are wondering, like, how do I decide where, if you don't know where you want to apply, I thought about the size. Holy Cross was a perfect size for me. I loved that it was sort of a campus. That's what I was looking for. I had friends who went to school in bigger cities and loved it, and loved that they had that kind of opportunities to kind of explore and be different places. I kind of loved the coziness of Holy Cross, that like everybody was in the same dining hall and everybody was in the library, and so some people that might be stifling. It really kind of depends on your personality, but that's really what I was looking for. But it turned out that one of the most important things, one of the best reasons for me to have gone there was because for me, liberal arts education was kind of the right way to go, because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I went into Holy Cross as a psych major and with a concentration in pre-med. I don't remember that far back. This is going to be my 20th high school reunion this year. So I don't even know why I thought that, quite frankly. And then I started taking classes, and no offense at all, but like biology really wasn't my thing. Just wasn't really my area. And I said, I don't think I'm going to go to med school. So what should I do? And so Holy Cross was great because I could study, anthropology and Buddhism and Keats' poetry and sort of being like the true, like really good nerd that I am. I just wanted to like learn about all these things, and none of them may ultimately have directly impacted my career, but they certainly helped me kind of carve that path. So during all this time I was working, my brother is 11 years older than me and he had a practice. So I was working with him during summers, even back, as far back as high school, really, I was working with him. Then he opened up his own practice. And so I worked with him all through summers. And so sometime during senior year, I was still a psychology major, and I said, well, I guess I'll take the LSATs and just kind of see what happens. And even when I applied to law school and I got in right away, they have this great rolling admission, so it's not like colleges where you have to like wait and wait and wait for this deadline. I sort of applied and just sort of thought I'd see what happened. I got in. And I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I certainly had no idea what kind of law I would practice, if I did practice, if I even would practice law. And there are just so many opportunities. I made like a little list of just people that I know personally with a law degree that don't practice, you know, what they kind of use their law degree to catapult them into other careers. So banking, business, entrepreneur, dispute and conflict resolution, academia, journalism, public interest advocacy, politician, government worker, real estate developer, real estate agent, media consultant. The list goes on and on. So I didn't have that list maybe in my mind at the time, but I was open to kind of just the possibilities of maybe ending up working with my brother, which I love and I'm so glad that I did, but also just not really knowing, and again, wanting to sort of keep that open and curious mind. So that's what I did. After I graduated from Holy Cross, I went to Suffolk University Law School. While I was there, they had a lot of great opportunities, which I would encourage students, even if they can do this in college. I didn't really explore this in college, but I certainly did in law school, internships and also clinics. A clinic that I did in a particular area of law, to me, was hugely important to sort of decide something I didn't want to practice. You know what I mean? So, and that maybe goes to my point earlier about talking to mentors in other areas than something you know you might be interested in. The clinic that I did was great, and I learned a lot, and I loved my professor, and ultimately knew I would never want to practice that kind of law in real life. So it was very helpful to me in a different way. So, you know, all of this, I guess, is part of my DNA learning, and you know, I love school. If I could just go to school forever, I probably would, in 100 different areas. And I'll certainly start the Eliopulous tradition of brainwashing to my daughter to try to go to, you know, I'm happy that she'll go here, and I'd love her to go to Holy Cross, and all of the above. But really, what I would want for her is what I would want for the students here, is to really, again, just stay curious. If you have a passion, explore it. Absolutely, that's not what I'm saying, but don't feel bad if you don't know exactly what you want to do. If you, sort of like Bob was saying, if you have an idea of something you want to do and you go down that path and it's not really what you thought, that's okay too. If a door closes, you know, it's so cliche, but if a door closes on you, don't think it's the end of the world, because you really don't know what other opportunities are around the corner. So talk to as many people as you can. I wish I had known, I wish this program was around, you know, back then. I wish I had known. I think when you're younger, you just don't know the questions to ask. When I was in college, one thing that I wish I had done, I was a psych major, and I just never really explored what it would entail to go to grad school for psychology. And sort of was like, by the time I thought about it, I don't want to say it certainly wasn't too late. I could have spent time after college doing, you know, certain research requirements or certain things beyond just like the classes at college that I had certainly taken. And I don't know if just like there's a lot going on, or you're young, or whatever the case is, it doesn't occur to you, or maybe if you had a mentor, they would say to you, hey, you know, think about these things as you're going, or explore these other things. So just meet as many people as you can. You know, like our great speakers were saying, don't be afraid to ask any question to anybody that you meet here or otherwise. It's an amazing group of people. It's an amazing alumni. The teachers are amazing. The community, the town, the people that work here, the people that build their lives here are going to be more than happy to help you. They're going to really take joy and pride in seeing you succeed, because I think that's the kind of community that this is. So take advantage of that. Okay?
Thank you so much.